Some companies never touch labor relations. Some companies live, eat, and breathe it. But all companies should always be touching employee relations. Got it? Just saying. Hey y'all, this is Tamika, the face behind Heyyy HR, and I am going to talk to you all about the differences and part of the similarities between employee relations and labor relations. Y'all, they're two different things. So if you want to know the difference between employee relations and labor relations, keep watching. It's so often that I hear people will like refer to them the same or refer to them at the same time. But employee relations and labor relations are just a tad bit different. Yeah, they all deal with the employees and how your relationship is between the organization and the employees, but they're still different. They're still different. So let's go over first the definition of employee relations. Employee relations is an organization's effort to create and maintain a positive relationship with its employees. This can help to keep employees loyal and more engaged in their work. So employee relations would be when you see that companies do like nice things back for employees. Maybe we acknowledge anniversaries, maybe we acknowledge birthdays, maybe we may give you a gift or a sympathy gift of some sort if you go through bereavement. Maybe we may do an employee day or an employee cookout or whatever like that. Maybe we may even do an employee of the month and give you like a parking space or give you some type of benefit with that. So those type of things are kind of like to boost your employee relations and let employees know that you feel like appreciative for their work, that you acknowledge their work, and that you think of them outside of just being an employee. So some more examples of employee relations could be kind of on the positive and the negative side. So I'm gonna run through a list and it includes some positives and some negatives. And so the first one is workplace conflicts. I think a lot of people think of employee relations when they think about workplace conflicts. Maybe that's you just got these folks sharing an office. They never shared an office before, and they're having conflict with sharing an office. This person likes it hot. This person likes the window open. This person likes the window closed. That person likes it cold. This person likes to talk on the phone really loud. This person really prefers using an earpiece. Whatever the case may be, those are kind of some workplace conflicts. It may even be that like an employee really doesn't like working with their managers often. Maybe the manager's having a hard time with this employee's attitude. Those are like your workplace conflicts, and that falls under employee relations. And then workplace bullying. That happens so often. We don't recognize it. We don't have enough whistleblowers. People really aren't talking about it as much. And so if you have not watched this video, then please watch it, where I have a video that talks all about workplace retaliation and harassment in the workplace. And that's definitely going to let you see kind of what I'm talking about when I talk about workplace bullying, and the fact that people may not even realize that they're being bullied, or may not realize that they're doing the bullying, or the reasons why people are terrified to even like identify it as workplace bullying. But that's a workplace issue. That's also an employee relations issue. And then workplace safety. This is where you'll hear people talking about OSHA or incidents, or they'll get training involved. They may get quality involved, that type of thing. That's also employee relations. Another is hour issues. So maybe the employees may not feel like they're getting enough work hours. They feel like they were hired for this amount of hours. They hear they only get these amount of hours, that type of thing. Again, that's employee relations. Obviously, each of those that I just gave as an example really can create its own metrics, but overall, like a company may kind of put all of those things into employee relations by measuring these specific metrics. And it's like the number of recognitions that may happen, like for a given time, for a given reason, what have you. Complaint response time. How quick did HR respond to these things? How quick were we able to get OSHA resolved? How quick were we able to get training done? That type of thing. Even employer performance. So maybe we may do pulse surveys to ask you how you like working here. What would you like to change? That type of thing. And we may do it over time so that we can see if there's a change in the metrics that we've created so far. Maybe it also may be the number of complaints, like how many workplace bullying issues did we have? How many employees didn't like each other? That type of thing. And then we may even do a metric of measure employee satisfaction. And we measure that a couple ways too, primarily in pulse surveys. And then we may do like quarterly benefits or comp data and compare it to our competitors. One of the best ways that companies tend to show this constant positive employee relations is by joining on, or not even just joining because you can't join, but by being a part of any best place to work initiative. So Glassdoor has them. There's so many places that have these best places to work lists, and we can't control the questions that are being answered. We can't control the responses. We can't really even see the individual responses. It's all controlled by a third party, and that's one way that they try to keep that employee relations going great. But to get on most of those best places to work lists, you always always have to do specific things that they tell you. Like they will tell you, you already have to be doing this for a period of time. You have to show us data that you're doing this ahead of time. And not that you're doing it just to get on best places to work, but that you've been doing it for a period of time before we can even let you apply to try to be on the best places to work. So I really like best places to work. If you guys find any of those lists, you can do like a hashtag search in LinkedIn. You can definitely do a search in Google. You can even do a search probably on YouTube, but do searches for best places to work, because that's one way to find yourself working at a place that you're really gonna like and that other people like. Now let's talk about the opposite. So we've already covered employee relations. Now we want to talk a bit about labor relations. Labor relations is different. So let's revisit employee relations before I dive into labor relations. And I'm going to put up a comparison right here so that you can see the differences between the two. So the definition of employee relations is an organization's effort to create and maintain a positive relationship with its employees. This can help to keep employees loyal and more engaged in their work. On the opposite end of things, labor relations. Labor relations, the definition of it is overseeing and ensuring national agreements beyond the scope of traditional collective bargaining agreements to cover not only wages and benefits and working conditions, but also workforce and community health, workforce planning and development, performance improvement, and union involvement. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, labor relations is a lot more detailed than employee relations. So employee relations is your entire employee population as a whole. Labor relations a lot of times goes when a company has an agreement of some sort. Maybe they have a contractual binding agreement, right? And this may be with a unionized set of employees that they have in their organization. This may be with some type of governing body that has some rights on how this employee or this company operates. And so a lot of times it's really going into different things like national agreements or local agreements. There are certain industries that require that you're automatically in like a unionized workforce. So here locally, y'all know I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. We're on the border, we're on the coast. With us being on the coast, we have, we call ourselves the port city, right? So we have the ports all over. We have 3 large ports, I believe. And that's a unionized workforce. Those folks who call themselves or who fit under the title of longshoremen. We also have UPS, they have a unionized workforce. We also have Boeing that recently got here. No, they did not have a union when they were in Washington State. That's the reason they chose South Carolina, because we're at Will State. And so now they have a unionized workforce. I believe they finally voted it in. School buses, different school buses companies. So not the county, but different companies that you may work for that provide school buses services to different counties. They have them. There's some teachers primarily in the Northeast. They have them as well. So I can go on and on and on that different people work in a place that may be organized with the union. And that's where you really see a lot of your labor relations. National agreements as well. Now it's finding more collective bargaining agreements. And this covers a lot. Like I just said, it covers your wages and your benefits, right? I want to make sure that you're being paid fair, that you're getting the accurate benefits, that your benefits are promising what the company has promised to push. Even working conditions. It used to be like the coal mines and stuff like that, and the working conditions were horrible. And I believe that they got unionized for that very same reason. No different than the longshoremen here. They work for super long hours. They work in regular weather conditions. They're working outside on the port. Really, the ship or how much they're able to get that ship loaded and get it unloaded really determines how long they work. So they can work for 10 hours, they can work for 16 hours, they can work for 20 hours. You'd like to have a collective bargaining agreement because I don't want to get paid the same rate for the 10 hours that I would for the 20 hours, right? Now I'm a lot more tired. And on top of that, it's just very, very unsafe to work on the port. So it truly makes sense why you'd have binding agreement to help make sure that I feel like I'm being compensated fair for putting my life at stake every day when I go to work. It also helps with workforce planning and development to make sure that you're constantly getting that career development. You know, I personally take my career in my own hands and make my own career plan, my own career strategy of how I want to grow my career and better my career. There are a lot of us that just don't know that, right? There's so many people. I mean, I probably wouldn't have clients if all of my clients knew how to make their own career plan. As a result, some people have a collective bargaining agreement to make sure that they constantly get that career development, that career growth as well. And then performance improvement. Like you want to make sure that you just don't tell me after a year that I sucked as an employee, but throughout that year, you're constantly working on ways for me to improve and become better and overall make work better, make the company better, but also make myself better, make my career better. And so that's the difference between employee relations and labor relations. They are different, y'all. They're different. They're different. Some companies never touch labor relations. Some companies live, eat, and breathe it. But all companies should always be touching employee relations. Got it? Just saying. That's the big difference. Well, that's a big difference. I don't know why I didn't thought of that at the beginning. Yeah, that's the biggest difference. All companies that touch employee relations, some companies touch labor relations. So for those of you who are new, I hope that you found this valuable enough that you decide to subscribe, because I love to have you around, and I promise you I'm bringing nothing but more great videos. For those of you who are returning, I would love to see, even a purple heart in the chat. Just let me know I hitting on something, you like it. Tamika, this was helpful. Tamika, I learned something. Seeing those views is nice. Seeing those comments are even better, because it definitely tells me if I'm hitting in the right place. Until next time, y'all, I can't wait to see y'all on the next video.